This is episode 49 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and today we don't have my game.
No, we have got my third round from the Kyber Cup. So the last match will have you under the old points before we bring you round 4 next week. So we are playing Assault at the Satellite Array. And I've come up against First Order. So, quick reminder, because it's been a while since we did my round 1, I was flying Maul with Hate, Cutthroat, IG-88D, Gamut Key, Lando, Veteran Tailgunner, Contraband, Dropseat Bay, Night Brother and Swivelring. Q90, we're in the Razor Crest with L337 Pele, Tractor Beam, BT1, Contraband, Hull Upgrade and Razor Crest. Manaroo with Notorious, Jamming Beam, Overtune Modulators, Punishing 1 and R5P8, and Ahab. And that list would now be 23 points and a lot of loadout less. So, actually, I don't know. Ahab got some loadout, so it probably
Not that much loadout less. But the people who have loadout would have to lose a bunch of things, and then they have gained some, right?
Yeah. So, my round 3 opponent was Brendan, and Brendan had brought First Order. So he's got Commander Malorus in the TIE FO? Yeah,
TIE FO. 3 hull and 1 shield to TIE FO.
Yeah, because the SFs are 3 and 3, right?
Yeah.
And cluster missiles. Recoil in the Silencer with Predator, Sensor Scramblers, Ion Torpedoes. Ember in the BA Interceptor with Predator, Fanatical and Hull Upgrade. Gideon Hask in the Z-Class Shuttle with Elusive, Fanatical, Agent Terex and Commander Pyre. And Nightfall in the Whisper with Predator, Concussion Missiles, Sensor Scramblers and the Enhanced Jamming Suite.
Ooh, Ember and Hask. So, I don't know if Hask does the same thing he does with Imperials, but I know Ember likes shooting people who are already damaged.
I think Gideon does.
Gideon is he's like a reroll person in First Order, isn't he?
So.
Let me go and quickly look him up. He's
so
the Z.
While Sam's doing that, let's talk about setup. And objectives wise, we've kind of got almost the standard cross shape. There's 1 in 3 of the corners, and then on the left hand side, 1 just slightly above halfway towards my opponent's edge. And then the rocks are basically clustered around the centre objective, with 2 rocks, 1 up in my top right near an objective and 1 up in my top left away from my objective. Now, interesting setup here, because my opponent was first player on setup, he's all 4s and a 5. So I set up Ahab and Manaroo first, and then he set up his list, and then I set up Q9 and Maul. And so I set up Ahab in the middle because he's happy to go through the rocks and can start claiming those objectives. Manaroo on the right because obviously the Judgment Master wants to go left. He then set up the majority of his list opposite Manaroo, with the exception being Recoil in the Silencer, who he set up just slightly to the right opposite Ahab to come down and have a nice lane through the rocks. And he mentioned afterwards that he was like, he's played against similar lists to mine recently, and he was looking at it, and he knew that if he guns for Manaroo, he should be able to burn Manaroo down before the other ships can sort of come in and do anything. But then I placed Maul next to Manaroo, and apparently he was like, yeah, okay, that's slightly more concerning. And then I placed Q9 just to the left of Maul as well. My hope being that I bank Q9 in and we effectively joust, because although he's got more guns and possibly more dice, I've got more hull to choose through and better mods, I think, especially with the Force IG-88 Lando or Maul. Manaroo's got the droid for the reroll. And if it shoot Manaroo, will trigger Notorious. So yeah, that was basically my game plan. And this game was played quite late at night when I had an early start the next morning. So it was a sort of semi in my mind that I need to do this one quickly. So we'll go for the joust. And then, of course, as things happen, it goes to time because that's always the way.
Not always the way.
When you need a quick game, it goes to time.
Yeah, fair. And when you plan for a long game, it's over in 3 turns.
Yeah. Did you clock Gideon and the Z?
Yes, I've got all his pilot abilities up now. Actually,
so
Gideon and the Z.
Yeah, sorry. Carry on.
So, while you or a friendly small ship at range 0 to 2 performs a primary attack against a damaged defender, it's complicated. If the attacker rolled 2 or fewer attack dice, you can gain a strain to roll 1 additional attack dice.
That's it. Nightfall's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, so Nightfall is whilst after he fully executes a maneuver or performs a boost action, each ship he moved through gains 2 jam tokens.
Yeah. But let's get on to the game. So yeah, we're basically going for a joust. So he's commander pired Manaroo. So Manaroo's got 2 stress. So I'm going to move slowly the first turn because I can get rid of a stress, and then basically jump in second turn and try and get some blocks. Is my plan. So he decloaks Nightfall because obviously with the sensor scramblers, they gain a cloak token, and he defaults Whisper forwards, which makes me think he's doing the classic decloak forwards, 5 straight attack that has been used against me before. But
the Kylo Ren special.
Yeah, but Nightfall's only got concussion missiles, so it's slightly less. But yeah, so Ahab does a 4, Manaroo does a 1. Recall does come gunning in. And takes a focus into a barrel roll for a stress. And then the shuttle does, I think, a 1 forward. Nightfall actually only does a 1 forward.
That's more than a 1.
No, hang on. Yeah, hang on. Did it move before that? Let me just.
Remember, he decloaked and then he moved.
Oh yeah, a 2 must be if you look at that. It's
yeah.
A 2. Yeah, so it did a 2. Goes for a target lock and is just out of range of Manaroo. Maul does a 2 straight because it doesn't have a 1 straight. Does a double calculate because I'll gamut it this turn and we're going to be shooting next turn. And then I bank with Q9, which just clips the back of Maul. And it must be close because he's almost at the 45 degrees. And knocks a shield off, which I'm okay with. And then Malos, just comes up behind and straights. Start of engagement, he gives a calculate to Nightfall with Terex. Because Maul should have a shot, and he does have a range 3 into Nightfall. I roll blank focus. I don't bother spending anything because I don't think it's worth the rerolls at that point, and I'd rather have the extra green tokens for the next turn.
That is fair.
So we run through. I think the only shot. So he has a range 3 from Nightfall back into Maul. Rolls
from the turret, quite luckily. Rolls hit focus.
Hit focus. I believe spends the calculate for 2. I roll evade blank focus. Spend 1. Spend a force. Spend a force. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, where was I? Spend a force because I'm going to get it back for 2 evades. So that's that dodged. We cycle through. Recoil has a range 3 obstructor shot into Ahab. Rolls 1 eyeball, decides not to spend. And then the remaining shot is just Ahab back, 2 dice against 5. Rolls 2 eyeballs, spends for the hit because I'm the last ship. And would you believe it? 4 blanks and an eyeball. So
Well.
plink one through on the silencer. So not expecting that from Ahab. The little modified tie that could.
Hey, it's always that little dude that does it.
So we're gunning down one side, and I will say actually that right until the end, the objectives, although we score, are largely taking a back seat in this game.
It's funny. It's like the exact opposite of how I play.
And we score 1 apiece on this one. So yeah, turn 2, and yeah, basically I'm trying to go as fast as I can with Manaroo, which is blue, which is I think is a 3 straight. Try and get a block. I do want Manaroo about the boost actually, I think, but I don't think I do it in the end. I think I want to say that I stop with Maul here, contraband, and I bank Q9 in front. And then Manaroo's basically just going to turn to the right, either get a block or start flanking. See if I can start lining up some shots on the Z class to get my extra dice.
Let's see. So this is interesting because I'm not. I can't remember how slow some of the first order ships goes, but like this looks like is you can get all your shots into one target. Like one of the first order ships should go down.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of them have a 1 straight. I don't think the Whisper has a 1 straight, but I might be wrong.
The Whisper does not have a 1 straight, neither does the Silencer,
No,
neither does the TIE BA, but it does have 1 banks and 1 hards.
Yeah, I knew it had the 1 hards, but honestly, I couldn't see it 1 harding at this point.
Yeah.
I realistically thought I'd probably be able to get focus fire on something by the end of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the plan. Basically, it's just to move up and see what we can do. And yeah, we're just going through the dials. Some of the there we go, rolling, and I am second player this turn, which is great because it means I can move Q9 and Maul after my opponent's entire list has gone. So I can pick and choose targets, etc., etc. But my 3s can still go first to try and get blocks. So Ahab does do a 3 bank and focuses. Nets me that objective unless recoil's coming in, which I assumed he probably wasn't.
Yeah.
Manaroo does a 3 straight focuses. I ummed and ahed about the boost. And I think I was just worried that if I boost, Nightfall shoots behind me.
Yeah.
And I think that's worse.
Yeah, because then you don't have another shot. Manaroo, well, I guess he wouldn't have anything, but like he's like double jammed, and that means Nightfall has, I believe it is it extra dice on. No, he's just on defense, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anywho, so Terex comes up, and coordinates a focus to Nightfall.
That makes you think he's bumping.
The BA comes up, takes a deplete to barrel roll in front of Manaroo, and then takes a focus.
So that's how he's working around with Gideon's ability, because if the TIE BA is rolling 2 dice with his deplete, Gideon's ability can trigger on the 3 dice gun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Nightfall does bump. The silencer turns in 90 degrees, focus into a boost, I believe.
Manaroo's in trouble.
Yeah. Spoilers, Manaroo doesn't shoot. So I do the 3 bank. I take a target lock onto the silencer. Sat range 1 in front of me. That. The hidden card, because it doesn't come up, was false transponder codes.
Okay.
Which I revealed in the system phase this turn, because I was reasonably sure I'd be taking a lock. Lock the silencer, jam the focus off. Maul stops, pops Did I pop contraband?
I hope so.
I'm not sure I did there, because I haven't taken 2 more calculates. So I'm thinking...
because... So I was actually thinking, now that you said that you've revealed false transponder codes, I was thinking, I kind of wish you jammed Malorus here. Because Malorus's ability is going to make that cluster missile really hurt.
Yeah, also I didn't think that I could jam... I don't think that's range 1.
No. When you take the target lock with Q9,
oh, right,
right?
I see what you mean. Yeah.
I know it doesn't make it makes your shot into the silencer worse. And I guess if you're planning on Manaroo still being there to get 3 into it, it makes sense. But I was looking at that when you said he had false transponder, like getting rid of the focus is nice, but I would have maybe gotten rid of that target lock.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was kind of hoping between Maul and Q9 into an unmodded defense-wise silencer, I might actually either do enough and get a decent crit through, or actually just put 5 damage through.
Yeah, that is fair.
But yeah, maybe locking Malorus there is actually the right shout. Jam that off, then he can't fire the cluster missiles.
Because I was looking, because Malorus's ability is he takes a stress, spends a charge, and all his attacks and defenses this round, he can change his focuses to hits or evades. And with a cluster missile, that's really good. Because, his second shot into Q9 doesn't have the target lock, but it just means focuses are hits.
Yeah. So I didn't pop contraband that turn because I think I had 2 calculates anyway. I've got full force. And honestly, I don't think Maul's taking that many shots.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah. He does take the stress. Cluster missiles. 3 hits into Manaroo. So I roll evade focus. I decide not to spend the focus there. So I take 2. And I trigger a charge on Notorious.
Nice.
Here we come up for proper blunder error. So I've got 1 more charge of Notorious left.
Do you ever use it?
And what I want to do is put it onto recoil, because the silencer is probably one of the more difficult ships to kill.
Right.
And
a strain will help Q9, because that'll be a range 1 into a strain ship. Yeah.
Sorry about that again. Where were we? So I want to basically put the strain into recoil because it's I want to put the strain into recoil because although it's my 2 5s will have shot first. If they haven't killed him, I have got a shot from Ahab afterwards, which might be, any help against that 2 dice might be the triggering factor.
I was thinking the strain to recoil will be long gone by the time it'll just help Q9 shot, right?
Well, Q9 will shoot first because he's a 5 and recoil's a 4.
Oh, yeah. No, my bad. Speaking of, before we move on, is there any? Like, I'm just looking at thing. Is there any reason Manaroo hasn't popped overtunes this turn?
Yeah, because I forgot.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Otherwise, I would have.
Because I was just thinking like this. Like I'm looking at like this was like very
The turn.
clearly
Yeah,
the
yeah.
turn.
I should have. What I should have done in hindsight, especially where everyone's gone, is popped overtunes and boosted.
No, I still think popping overtunes and focusing is perfectly fine because, like I said,
if I'd boosted, I would have caught at least 3 of the ships, and if Nightfall had gone through me, I'd still have a calculate after the 2 jams.
true. I guess that is true.
But that's the benefit of hindsight.
I mean,
But yeah,
yeah.
I sat there afterwards going, I should have popped.
I'm assuming you're boosting to the left because I'm not sure a straight boost would work.
Oh yeah, no, I boosted to the left.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind though that all these ships have moved after me, so there was more
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, you know what I mean, but my point was the straight boost. Nightfall did a 2 straight, so a straight boost will just clunk you, right?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I would have boosted left anyway. Would have been the plan.
Yeah.
I
think popping over tunes and focusing is also fine, just because.
At least it's more for defense.
Yeah.
And actually, 3 calculates would have saved me. So
yeah, okay.
So yeah, he then clusters into Q9 and gets 1, which plinks a shield off.
Yeah, he uses his ability to change your focus.
So I think, did I do it then? I'm trying to think if he did that, if I made him re-roll or not. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to remember when I triggered L3. Might not have been then. So yeah, I do Q9's range 1 into the silencer.
I don't think he triggered him then because he only rolled a focus and 2 blanks, and L3 is reroll everything, right?
So I spend the lock and end up with 2 crits and 2 hits.
Yep.
And he rolls 2 of 8. So crit through, so shield crit. And the crit is a console fire.
Nice.
Maul goes into the same target. Rolls 2 hits and an eyeball, so spends a calculate for 3.
He spends the calculate from Terex.
He spends the calculate from Terex for 2 evade, so that's another 1 plinked off, so that's recoil down to 2.
Down to 1, you mean? Down to 1.
Down to 1, sorry. And then everybody piles into Manaroo.
No, you're right. I think he's down to 2. I think you've clicked him 1 too many times on the overlay.
Yeah, it might have been the I thought he was on 2. It may have been the console fire, but we'll.
Yeah.
So I can't remember which order this is in.
This is 3 dice, so that looks like it's the TIE Baron.
Yeah, because that'd be 4 at range 1, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, rolls hit, eyeball blank.
Does something to gain rerolls? Oh, the lock. Of course, he's a Baron. He barreled it. Yeah. He got a lock. Yeah.
Spent the lock. Gets 2 hits and an eyeball. Spends the calculate. Spends the oh no, I think he Ours here actually, doesn't he? He does spend the focus for 3. Manaroo blanks out, so that is Manaroo down to 4. Then the Z-class shuttle rolls hit eyeball. Takes a strain,
adds a dice.
Rolls it into a blank. Manaroo blanks out. Puts him down to 3. Still got 2 shots coming in. Here's the console fire, so that probably was me over clicking on recoil. Here is the silencer, range 1.
Yeah.
Rolls for 4 hits. I need 2 to live, 2 paint, and I roll eyeball blank. So if I'd spent, did I roll eyeball blank or evade blank? If I'd spent,
that was eyeball blank.
That was eyeball blank. Okay, cool. So if I had the calculates and been able to mob the first one and mob that one, I'd still be alive.
Yeah, you'd have to eat the Nightfall shot, but that would just be range 0.
Now here I make a crucial error, and I make the crucial error by forgetting that I'm playing X-Wing, not Marvel.
So you remove Manaroo immediately. You notorious him.
in Marvel, when your character dies, and I completely forgot. I don't know why. I was tired. Just the whole initiative step. I was like, that's it. He can't do anything, but he could have Notorious with the last charge, which would have put that strain through on
recoil.
Which would have been helpful, but I forgot, which is a bummer. So I'm guessing Whisper must have shot at some point because we skipped straight through to
recoil. Nightfall declines to shoot. Is what this looks like.
Either that, or we may have missed it at some point.
Yeah.
I thought all 4 went into Manaroo because I'm pretty sure that silence shot was the last shot, and I had 3 health left, and so either not 4 hits and some paint or 2 bits of paint would have kept me alive. But I do have a range 2 shot from Ahab into the silencer or into Terex. I go into Terex because I've got
extra dice. Makes sense.
And he gets 2.
He was strained. He should have rolled 2, not 3.
Well. Didn't clock that one.
Triggers!
But yeah, so end of that round, and I think that was a draw. Oh no, I claim the bottom one because I've got 2 medium or large base ships up there, and the centre one because Ahab's there, and he claims the top one. And I don't think I've killed off Manaroo yet because the points haven't updated. But that will put him 6-3 ahead. So I think this is the turn. Oh, here we go. We realised he was strained and re-roll there.
Okay.
I do the same, to be fair, later on in this game. I think I forget. I use Q9's ability, forget to put the strain on. But he shoots and completely whiffs on the attack. So he's happy to just ignore that one, basically.
Yeah, it looks like he used Elusive to basically get the same result, so I think everything was all good.
Yeah. So this turn, obviously, a lot of his ships are either stressed or strained, or stressed and strained. So I'm really confident that they're not all doing turnarounds. So Ahab is going to continue to bank in and basically try and get a decent shot on the Z class. Q9's going to flip with a 5k.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think this is where I pop Contra around with Maul so we can double stop.
Yep, makes sense.
And then, like I say, I can calculate, get the rerolls, and see if we can start putting some damage through. Yeah.
5k, there's the 2 bank. We can see on the screen.
Yeah, I am done hard about going faster, but I just felt the 2 bank gave me the best position.
I think the 2 bank is fine. And with the 5k, Q9 will be claiming a far objective.
I don't know. That was also in my thoughts.
It's one of those weird things. Like I said, it's like different playstyles and different lists. Like it pains me to see 2 objectives untouched.
I had no.
Game.
To be fair, if this had not been I want to quit game, I would have played it slightly differently, and I probably would have set up Manaroo on the right. I probably would have set up more ships on the left to claim those 2 that are close together. And then the moment he sets up opposite me, I would have turned Manaroo to the left and started running for cover.
Yeah.
So that he's got to come through the rocks and can't just get everything on me. But as I say, it was like, I think we started this one at midnight? So, but hey. But it's interesting how the game actually progresses, even doing that, so... go into the next round. I think how many this goes. I think it's 6 or 7.
Awkward pause. Awkward pause.
What happens when you're waiting for your opponent to say? I'm like one of the. I set my dials too fast. To be fair, I very much this is what I should do. This is what I should do. This is what I should do. Set. And actually, sometimes I probably should just take a little bit more time.
The funny thing is for me is I always find that my first gut reaction is usually the best, and the more I think about it, the worse the moves get.
Like, I go through that anytime I start thinking about it, I go, well, what if my opponent does this? And what if my opponent does that? And what if my opponent does this? And then I normally just end up back where I started, for better or worse.
Yeah. Because like I overthink. Like when I'm playing a droid swarm and I want to block, I like, okay, my gut move says do this thing, and then I'm like, but what if he does that? Okay, well I better move this droid here, and what if he does that? Well I better move this droid there, and then I end up with a weirdly scattered, like trying to cover all the option, and then he just does what I would have blocked had I done stuff normally, and I'm like, oh well, I didn't actually block the original move I was going to block.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if I actually do a stop with Maul. I might just do a straight here.
That seems risky.
I can't remember. Bear with
like that feels blockable. Anyway, we should just resume the game, right?
But the blockable just means a red focus, so
yeah. Well, you'd have to contraband though, right? Because you're stressed.
What to do?
No, you're not double stressed yet, are you?
No, not double stressed. So
stupid giant wings.
Yeah, no, right. So yeah, Ahab banks in, takes focus. My opponent is first player again. The
Nightfall banks in.
Nightfall banks in, and I believe takes a focus and jams me.
Nice.
The silencer goes straight right towards the board edge, and repairs. I think repairs the console fire.
I mean, that is the sensible choice. No. Ooh.
No, takes the focus.
No, takes the focus. Okay.
The BA does a K turn.
That's a sloop. That was a sick sloop.
Sorry, a sloop. Yeah, isn't it just by...
That is a sick sloop. Okay, so anyone who's not watching the stream, the BA has slooped so that I would argue that his nubs are like touching the silencer. That is
I don't know if they're touching. I would argue that the nubs are like in the gaps in between each other.
Yeah,
certainly.
they're like that's like a pixel perfect sloop in behind that silencer. If that had gone wrong, holy moly.
Yeah, like half a millimeter less on the straight from the silencer, and that BA bumps. But that's good playing. The shuttle comes forward. Does he?
He coordinates that silencer, I bet.
Yeah, coordinates to repair the con. Maybe he hasn't. What's he done with the?
He took a stress.
Because I can still see the.
He definitely. It's either he either coordinated or he took a target lock on something. I think he might have removed. I think he might have cleared the console fire on the silencer. Because I don't see the token anymore.
I can see the token. It's under the BA.
Okay.
And I thought I was quite good at removing it on the overlay for once, but so Manaroo does a hard turn and takes a lock onto Q9.
Makes sense.
So I'm pretty sure I pop Contraband here, do the 5k, barrel roll with his ability, forget to do the strain, but we'll come back to that, and then take a target lock onto the Z-class shuttle because I'm sat at range 1 behind it.
And Ahab has a shot, and Maul will likely have a shot. So now that's like 2 or 3 straight for Maul is looking pretty sweet.
Yeah, we'll see what I did in a second. No, so I must have popped Contraband, so do another stop. So I double calculate. Jam takes 1 away, but I've still got 1, which effectively is a reroll.
Yep.
With the Force, that's fine. If I'd taken a lock, that would have just gone. So I felt that was the best way around it. And we go to engagement. So his 5 has no shot.
Yeah.
So he takes calculate with Terex at the start of engagement.
Puts it onto the Z.
Onto the Z. I'm trying to remember what I do here. I think I go.
I think it's got to be all into the Z, right? You have 3 good shots.
So I roll 2 hits and an eyeball and spend the Force. And he rolls 1 eyeball and 2 blanks and takes all 3.
Z is on fire, as they say.
Oh no, I didn't. I went into recoil.
You went into recoil.
Yeah,
Nice. Okay, so
because
recoil's dead.
yeah, that's why plinking that one off is why I went into recoil.
Or two off. It doesn't matter. You did three, so you
Yeah.
definitely killed it.
But yeah, I think getting that silencer, or that's a handy dice gun there.
Yeah.
That's gone. So
And it's easy points on the board.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That puts me back ahead now. So Q9 does go into the Z class. I spend the lock for 4 hits. He elusives and spends the calculate for 2. So I plink the shields off. Then we run
I
through.
must have I must have missed him. I thought he used elusive earlier, but it must have
Oh,
not been elusive.
I think if I'm
I
right,
don't think
no,
he did a red maneuver.
I thought he stopped. It might be the stop there.
Did he stop? Okay.
Um, so he goes into Maul from the Whisper for 3 hits and a crit. I roll an evade and a blank. I spend that calculate for 2 evades. So that's the 2
Yep.
shields.
Yep, because you reroll the blank into an evade. Happy days.
The Z class goes into Maul and I dodge it. Ember goes into Q9. Rolls 3 blanks. I should have been strained, but I don't roll dice. But my opponent's like, it's fine because you would have rolled dice and I whiffed. So here's what it is. And then Ahab goes into Gideon. Rolls hit crit with the focus token. Gideon rolls 1 evade, so he takes a crit, and it's structural damage.
All right.
And on that turn, we
1
score
point
1
each.
apiece on objectives. So
Because Terex has come just low enough so that Maul doesn't beat the 2 small ships.
well, that would have been a draw anyhow, wouldn't it? So
Yeah, but my point is like that's the reason the opponent gains points because Terex is just low enough. So next turn is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Maul is getting 2 jam tokens in this next
phase,
right?
Very much so.
So at least you're double stressed and like he weren't getting tokens anyway.
No, exactly. I'm pretty sure I do dial in. I want to actually say a 1 bank because I can't do a 2 straight.
Yeah.
I figured the likelihood is I bump anyway, so I won't do the full 45 degrees. I just accept that. And the likelihood is like the BA is not shooting at me, or if it is, it's shooting at me unmodded because it's 1 harded when it's stressed.
1 hard is blue for the BA.
All right, okay. Well, I'll just be quiet and pretend I actually know the dial of my opponent's ships. But
I'm guessing he doesn't actually do that.
If the Whisper does go through me, the likelihood is it's either Pete shooting at me out the back with the turret, or it's doing a turnaround. So yeah, hence the slow blue. I want to say that Q9's just doing a 1 straight to clear the stress. And I generally can't remember what I do with Ahab. I think I turn him up towards the top objective.
I mean, that would be the play for me
at this point. But yeah, let's I don't know why I'm pausing that while we're talking about it because now we've got to sit and wait while we set dials.
Yeah, that's why I was like, just play. We can talk in the gaps.
But like at this point, I kind of want to try an initiative kill Gideon because he's got 4 health left. I've got 2 ships
structural damage.
Shoot before me. There's us talking about the strain, and yeah, he's got a structural damage, so that's not an unrealistic proposal. Which is why I think I might turn Ahab down towards him, but Ahab shoots after. So we roll, and I'm first player this time.
Dun 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 dun.
So he, because Terex has flipped now, so he's rolled and gains a jam.
Oh, yeah, this is Jam City.
Yeah, so the Z class has a jam.
Who does he give it to, is the
So
question.
so Ahab does turn, but I went slowly, so he just bumps. And takes a red focus, which I'm absolutely fine with. The Whisper does K-turn through more.
K-turn. Nice, Super Jam.
Uh,
Uh,
Terax, I want to say, looking at
that's a
I did
one bank, I
a
reckon.
bank, which is blue.
Clears the stress and strain it looked like he had.
Yeah, but has a jam.
But he can pass it over, right?
But he can pass it over.
Does he?
He does.
Yeah, to
He
Q9.
gives it to Q9. Ember banks in front of Q9. Takes a strain to take a lock, and then
and then a
focuses.
focus. God, BAs are good.
Q9 bumps. Doesn't bother with an action because why stress myself when the focus is going to go anyway?
Not that you can focus because you're Q9. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, calculate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mole bumps as I thought he would. Looking at where he is, I think I might have actually gone. No, that's a slight angle.
No,
So
that looks like you dialed in a bank of some sort.
Which is fine. He's got force,
Veteran tail gunner
and veteran tail gunner. So yeah.
Malorus looks like she's in a sloop.
Yep. So I'm going first. So Maul goes first. He range zeros into Gideon because you can still mod force at this point. But I roll 2 hits. He rolls nothing. Rerolls for something. I can't remember. Oh, is it Pyre that lets you reroll for a?
Maybe it is Pyre.
Yeah. Because I'm stressed. It's like about against stress ships, isn't it? So, but yeah, get 2 hits through. So that is Gideon on 2.
Yes, it is Pyre. Okay, I've been accusing this person of cheating when he hasn't been. Pyre does have a second line of text.
But that's fine because Pyre's now banned, so we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, that's fine. I forgot that he had a second line of text.
And then we check again, and I do have the Whisper out the back. So we veteran tail gunner, spend a force for 2 hits, and plink 1 through.
Always good. Plinking is good.
Q9 next does the range 2 into the Z class, and rolls 2 hits, and they both go through, and that's the shuttle down.
Nice.
Before it can shoot.
That is important.
The important thing.
And that clinches you having an objective there.
Yes. So it then goes to Malorus, who I think cluster missiles here into so cluster missiles into Q9. This is where I flip L3 to make him reroll.
Right.
Because I think he got 2 hits and something. So odds to make, because he's got no mods, make him reroll. Ends up with 1 hit, and because he's stressed, he can't do his
magic
thing.
ability here.
So he's got 1 hit and 2 eyeballs. And I take the 1 hit. But now I have blue banks. And then I think he goes into Manaroo.
Ahab, you mean? And the crit goes through?
And the crit
or
goes
hit
through.
Crit goes, or something goes through. I think it was a direct hit because you've taken 2 damage onto Ahab.
Yeah. Then we shoot to the, I think, looking at those 3 dice, the BA into...
Well, the BA... Did the BA not bump, then?
Yeah.
It must be range 0, so why is the BA rolling 3?
Is it not a 3 normally?
Oh, did you take a strain rather than a deplete?
Yeah, he's taking a strain.
Right, gotcha.
Rolls 3 out of hand, and I take all 3. Puts Q9 and 4, and then here we go, range 1 into Maul. End up with 3 hits and a crit. Maul blocks once, takes 2 and a crit, and the crit is a hull breach.
Bet you wish Pelimoto was on Maul.
Yes. And then Ahab goes into Ember, who
just takes a crit.
Just takes, I think, blocked, actually. I haven't plinked the shield off.
Pretty sure they're supposed to have 2 shields.
Oh, right, okay.
They are.
Then it was the shield. Yeah, so interesting. So
So Maul's getting jammed twice next turn again, right?
Yeah, Maul's getting jammed twice again, which is fine. I'm up 14-8 at this point, but I've got a lot of very expensive ships on not a lot of health.
Yeah. So so my assumption is this Q9 might be in trouble.
Yeah. So I need to try and kill some stuff. I think this is where I won hard to the left with Ahab, keep him stressed, and just try and get a block onto Malorus.
Right.
To basically go, you either take the red focus and can't use your ability, or you don't have that green token. Also, I thought it might put me range 1 of the objective in case he shoots past.
I think, unfortunately, with Malorus, because of her ability, she has one use of it. She can be like, "I'll take the bump. I'll just use my ability."
Yeah. But the other option is turn down and just have Malorus behind me. It's
point of note: if Malorus is stressed, she can still use her ability.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I wonder why he didn't on that last turn then. Well,
I don't know, but she can still use, but maybe he just didn't want to double stress.
Yeah.
Because then if you double stress and there's another turn coming, it's like, well, now I'm completely useless.
Is it 2 or less than 2?
There are 2 charges.
Oh, I see. It's a 2 times.
And they do not come back.
Okay.
Which for cluster missiles is actually perfect because you have 4 shots.
Yeah, exactly.
That's some spicy combo. It's nice to see Malorus using her on the board, using her ability, because before you just never see it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I'm randomly chin wagging whilst we wait for moves to happen.
It's fine. We roll, and I'm first player. So yeah, do the hard turn where they have Ember.
K
turns. The Whisper goes through more double jams.
Boosts into a jam on Q9.
Yeah, boosts into a jam on Q9. Maul. 2 straights to get rid of the stress. Q9 and comes forward and bumps, I believe, into the Whisper.
Oh, that's lucky.
I do get the bump on Malorus. Not that it's a whole lot of good. Because it's still cluster missile range.
I was surprised you didn't 5k with Q9.
I want to. No, I wasn't stressed that turn, was I? Was I worried about it clipping Maul? Might be
at first I was, and then you moved Maul first, and I was like, oh yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, it might be me just thinking that Maul wouldn't be moving first, and I think I want to say it's because in case I went second, I wanted Maul to have the most options.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah.
I'm going to come down on the side of I think it's a mistake because now everyone is behind your most damaged expensive ship.
Yeah. In hindsight, I fully agree. So to the shooting, and
Malorus is going to start cluster missiles, isn't it?
It's me
first. Is it you first? It is you first.
So Q9 I think is going into Whisper and rolls hit crit.
All right, Mr. Natty.
And then he rolls 2 evades.
All right, second Mr. Natty.
So there's the other shield gone. Maul then range 1s into Malorus. Rolls hit crit eyeball, spends a force. Malorus rolls 2 eyeballs and a blank, so I think he has popped the charge.
He's got a stress, so the ability makes them evades. God, that's a nice ability.
But that's still hit crit through.
Yep.
And the crit is a fuel leak. And then the cluster missiles come back. So 2 go into Q9. One goes into Q9. And I think do I spend both force? I must have and just not flip the dials. So Q9 is on 1, although getting a shot from the BA here. Rolls 1, spends the lock for 3. Q9 is dead.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, the 5k, if I'd done that, I don't think the BA would have had range on that.
No chance.
But
There'd be no cluster missiles either. But hey.
Yeah, that's true.
Ahab into Mr. Ember. Does nothing. 1 point each on objective. So 15-15. Alright. So what does this come down to?
So the next turn, I think I make a bit of a... Is it this turn or the next turn? So Ahab's going to do a slow bank to go up towards that objective.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I actually do something a bit different with Maul.
I think Maul should hard turn to the left.
Maul hard turns to the left.
Cool, I think that's correct.
Exactly what I do. Because I think I too hard to the left. Because
I can't remember if the 3 is red or white or not, but yeah, I'd go.
It's red. If it was white, I would have 3 harded. But I felt at this point, starting to hemorrhage health, I need the green tokens for rerolls, on defense at least.
Did you remember Cutthroat on Contraband?
Yes, I want to say we'll work out if I contraband again.
I was going to say but this is pre the errata, so Q9 dying would get your contraband back.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I did because I think I contraband one more time, but we will find that one out. But yeah, I hard turn. I'm going to be shooting pea shooter, but I still think that's the best. I was hoping it wasn't the obvious move. I thought the obvious move here was another stop.
Yeah, either that or a K turn of some sort.
But I was hoping if I can get... I thought a 2 hard might just put me in the middle enough that I claim the centre and the one I'm near anyway.
Yeah. But you're really banking on Manaroo going first.
Oh, I was reasonably confident a 2 hard would still just get past that.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the angle of the camera. Because I look, if the centre of the ship is where the centre of the base is, I don't like those odds.
But at this point, I need to probably try and kill Manaroo.
Yeah.
It's probably the easiest one, and then Nightfall. But yeah, the clock's running down. We're at 18 minutes left, and 15 apiece. It's a problem. I've lost all 3 of my Kyber games so far, and all of them, apart from the one I couldn't play, have been really close.
Isn't that just fine? Sign that your list is fine.
Well, no, it means I've got no chance of getting Wooden Spoon because I'm like near the top of the 0-3s.
Well, you know what? You know what your problem there is.
Yeah, I need
too well.
No, I need to score those extra couple of points so that I win, not lose. That's the problem. So here we go. We roll, and I'm not first player.
Oh, so Ahab does this thing.
Takes focus. So at this point, I'm like, oh god, he's completely called it. As he 1 hards Nightfall
Whisper
in front of Maul, facing where Maul's going. And I was like, oh god. Takes focus, jams Maul. The BA banks in, takes a strain to take a lock, and then takes a focus. I get the bump on Manaroo, who takes a red focus, and then the 2 hard.
Double calculate,
lose one of them. Because so his 5 has no shot. So
that strain makes Ember a tempting target. That's annoying.
It does make Ember a tempting target.
That being said, shooting at Ember likely only. It looks like you go for it, or do you go for the Whisper?
No, I must go for Ember because he's only got 2 dice, right? And the Whisper would.
Yeah, but the Whisper only has 2 because you have a calculate.
Okay. Yeah. In which case, I must go for. I'm pretty sure I go for the Whisper because. Or do I go for Mad? No, I can't go for Manaroo. I go for the.
We'll find out.
We'll find out when we shoot. I roll hit crit out of hand.
Jesus Christ! It's like me rolling Grievous shots here.
And 1 evade and 1 blank. Fuel leak and then direct.
So there's Nightfall you went for.
Yeah, it was Nightfall. And I kill Nightfall before nightfall can shoot me.
That is important.
Which suddenly means Maul's only taking one shot from Ember, which is unlikely to kill him.
Oh, but you can't spend that calculate.
Why not?
Because you are at range 0. You are at range. Hold on. Yeah, you're at range 0 to 1. And you've got a damaged friend. You have a damaged Malorus next to you, so you can't spend calculate or focus tokens when Ember shoots you.
Ooh, I might do that, and I don't think any of us could pick up on that. Let's just look. So he rolls 2 hits and a crit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm guessing I roll one eyeball.
Looks like you spend the force.
I spend the force to take hit crit, and it's a blinded pilot.
Okay.
And objectives wise, we draw on 1, and my opponent claims 1. I'm just out of that middle one. So, although I haven't put it up, yeah, there you go, 1916.
This is close.
And this is the turn I make a mistake. This is the turn I make a mistake. Although I say I make a mistake, I think it's more my opponent makes the correct mistake. Cool.
Makes the correct mistake.
So I am an R about a stop here because Malorus isn't turning around to shoot me because he's stressed. I'm moving after the BA. I can just stop, flip the wings and rotate if I need to, and get a shot into the...
And you hopefully have contraband.
And hopefully I have contraband.
Not that it really matters because you're blinded, but yeah.
Ahab does a 1 hard to the right,
yeah.
Because
either to the right or to the left, because you don't care about the rock,
no,
right?
I think maybe actually going to the left might have been the right call, because at least it would give me an obstruction.
Yeah.
The likelihood is he's not shooting anyway, so he doesn't overly mind about being on said rock. But I go to the right, and yeah, I think I don't actually stop with Maul here. I think I do a 1 bank to the left because I want to get in range of that center objective.
I mean, I don't think that's a wrong decision. It just depends on what your opponent does. I mean, I guess the problem is that this does mean that your bad gun is still pointing at the enemy.
So I'll let this play for a while because my opponent does take quite a while on this one because so I've gamut keyed the calculate as well.
Yeah.
And he takes quite a while because he's unsure whether to go after Maul, because Maul's only got 4 left.
Yeah.
And if he kills Maul, he wins.
Yeah, pretty much. That's guaranteed.
So it's whether he goes after Maul or not. 9 minutes on the clock, so it's winding down. This round, maybe one. I mean, I'm on 19 points, so we're both looking at this thinking it's likely the last.
So it's likely that Ahab wins you. Ahab will tick this over to 20, and then there's going to be a winner either way.
That's my hope. Yeah. Yeah.
So does the BA go after Ahab then? And that's not a bad shout, actually. Ahab's on 1.
Ahab is on 1.
Yeah. Oh no, I think I would have Ember go after the Ahab here.
And this is why I think maybe going to the left and getting an obstruction for an extra dice.
Yeah.
So we roll and I'm first player. Ahab 1 hards. Ember 1 hards. Takes a strain. Barrel rolls. Takes a focus.
Yeah.
I do the 1 bank. And repair my blinded pilot. Because now I can use the calculator that I've got to mod my dice.
You'll get your rerolls, yep.
And Malorus, I think, just did a straight to come down by the
yep,
objective.
or a bank of some sort, whatever. I guess the good direction. So, oh yeah, no, this is...
So I feels bad. Range 3 into the strained for 2, and he rolls 2 evades.
Shoots range 1. Ahab...
I need 3 paint, I get 1. Ahab dies.
Takes him up to 18.
And at the end of turn 7, we're on 20 apiece.
So it's a draw.
So, well, is it? I thought the rules were we keep playing.
Because the scenario rules say you just draw, right?
No, not if you haven't hit time.
Ah.
It's only if you hit time, then it's a draw. If you've still got round, you play until because there was something on the actual rules discussion sub channel.
Yeah, I saw that.
About if there's time left, you play until there's a winner. So we do. We play another round, and then I'm kind of in trouble here because he's got 2 ships to my 1, so I have to effectively kill Manaroo.
You too hard into Manaroo, right?
Well, 2 hard's going to put me on the rock.
Is it?
I'm here facing down. A 2 hard's going to put me on that little pokey rock at the bottom in the centre. Yeah, for sure.
No way.
What do you mean? No, for sure. So
too hard towards Manaroo? Not a chance.
What, too hard to ships left. Definitely.
Yeah.
2 hard ships left.
Oh, there's a rock there. I thought you were talking about that rock to underneath his wing. I didn't see that rock.
The one right in front of him.
That's why I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The one right in front of him.
Okay, you're screwed. You have to stop. You have to stop contraband.
I do stop.
But I still think you can't win.
I mean, I could. I just have to kill Manaroo.
Yeah, but no, I think Manaroo can get out of range 3 and still be contesting that objective.
I'm not so sure. I don't think he can. But that's hit nor hither there. I shoot.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, it's like maybe the problem, like the way.
Oh, I wouldn't have gone that way.
Yeah. The way what do you call it? The way Ember turned the last turn. Ahab wasn't dodging that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have one-hearted barrel rolled, but maybe that would have still kept me in range and dodged the shot. Because that would have one hard.
I mean, on the other hand, do you need to stay in range? Can you not just run away?
What, on that turn?
Yeah.
I could have. Actually, in theory, I could have. Because we would have been at 2020 still. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, this is probably getting into the details.
Then I could have just come straight. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Manaroo in this turns towards Maul, but still range 1 of the objective.
Yeah, that is not the way I would have gone.
I stop. I rotate. I double calculate. So there is the contraband back. He goes into me and rolls 1 hit. I roll an evade. I go into him. I think it's obstructed. I spend. I end up with 3 hits. He rolls 1 evade, 1 focus, spends the focus for 2, which takes him down to 1.
Lives on 1.
And that's the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he get the glory kill on Manaroo?
Oh no, 4 through obstruction. No. Yeah, and that's it. It ends up 22-21. And there's us just talking about it as we're going at the end.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I am convinced that if Manaroo had turned away from Maul, he could get out of range 3 and still be contesting that objective.
If I just scooty back.
So I saw you flip up the thing. Absolutely, you can get out.
Where is it? Hang on, let's just go back and then I'll play it. Hang on, it was literally there. I don't know. It was quite a reasonable chunk the other side of.
If Manaroo just does it too hard towards the board edge, maybe even barrel rolls if you feel a bit nervous. Easy. Like range 1's pretty big.
Yeah, it probably is.
Like, yeah.
A 2 hard's going to put him. So he was here. I'm pointing to the screen. You can't see where I'm pointing.
Yeah, he was like directly next to the objective. He did a 1 hard and focus, like 2 hard barrel roll, maybe a bank.
But the problem is, if you 2 hard barrel roll and misjudge it, then you're out of range 1.
No, I think it'd be hard to get out of range 1. You just might still be in arc.
But yeah, my guess is he wanted the shot to try and
Yeah.
do it because he, even if
Oh,
I kill Malorus,
you
that's
win. Easy. You just
no.
win. You get 3 points and win.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, I'll get the 3 points for the win, which is why I was going for the kill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, but yeah, like maybe I could have done something different with Ahab on that penultimate turn.
Maybe I don't know. Like
I feel that was
I
like honestly my opponent making the right call and going after Ahab rather
yeah.
than
I think that was your opponent was like, what do I need to win? How do I win? Ahab's on one hull.
well
Ember is a BA and so can get him.
he ummed and ahed about that and he said he could have gone for the win and that was go in on Maul. He didn't. He specifically played for the draw because then that nets him the advantage.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I do think that he could have thrown it all away with that Malorus move.
Yeah, possibly.
I know, like I get that getting the shot, but like I still think like Malorus, even if Malorus is at range 3, she's safer, right? Malorus ended up on one hull.
Yeah, yeah. And if that one that had gone through had been a crit,
She's dead, and
dead.
he's just thrown away the game. Like I guess maybe he just didn't expect to stop. Like that's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, honestly, I didn't see any other move at that point
Yeah,
because that bottom rock stops the too hard.
yeah. No, like I will say that I think your opponent played well the turn earlier to force the draw and get another turn, and then I think he almost threw it away.
But not quite. So that's the important.
Yeah, not
thing.
quite. But yeah, but like I think he was lucky to not throw away his win because
Yeah,
range 3 probably could have made it obstructed. Because like looking at that, I think, and assuming you have remembered Cutthroat and gotten that charge back,
yeah, which obviously I have.
like to me, the stop rotate is the move.
Yeah. So that game, I think there was one major mistake in that one that cost me, and that was not popping overtuned on Manaroo right at the first engagement, because that would have given me enough mods to actually live, even on one, I think.
Yeah.
But that means
Like,
I would have remembered to Notorious recoil. I would have had an extra 4 dice attack that turn. And who says that Manaroo dies the next turn? So
I mean, I think he's got good odds at dying next turn.
I mean, honestly, that where they were, I probably just 3 sloop behind and see what happens. But
yeah. But no, to me, this game is like, and I think not getting Q9 out of dodge any way possible.
Yeah, that would be the other one. Is that
yeah,
I should have K-turned him that turn and
like or just move fast, right?
Well, if you're going to move fast, I kind of feel like you might as well K, especially
yeah. But I mean, like if you wanted to make sure you didn't get stressed, like I still think you need to move fast.
But he doesn't mind that much about getting stressed because he can just take the calculate and then all right, you take a strain. But if you've got range 3, then you're effectively your normal dice with a calculate.
Yeah,
which has got to be better than an extra dice with no mod. So yeah, I think those two were the big ones, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't think you could have done like we can and ah and like maybe trying to get the obstructed shot from Ahab is the better play, but it's the BA. I think he can with his 3 barrel roll. I think he can angle it so that the shot isn't obstructed no matter what you do.
Yeah,
because if you want to stay range 1 of the objective,
I think the only call there might have been the one hard that I did, but a barrel rolled down. Not the focus, but I'm just going to scoot the video back. Oh, I would have fit the barrel roll in. Hang on.
Remember, you do go first.
Yeah. So I definitely would have fit the barrel roll in.
Yeah.
So yeah, because he's gone there, and that's after a barrel roll. So yeah, if I barrel roll to the right, he wouldn't have had a shot on.
Yeah.
On Ahab, and that would have won me the game.
Yeah. And yeah, it would have won you the game. Simple as that. And I think it's also the thing is like when you move him, he's like, I can be placed directly behind the only threat.
Yeah, but I I genuinely thought he'd go for more, and as I said, he was so on the fence about it, and
Yeah.
I just miscalled the play he'd make. So but yeah, it was a good game,
But
which is the
I admit,
important
I think he
thing.
made the correct play. I think there
No, he
are.
definitely made the correct play.
Yeah. Also, just because I think the odds of Ember killing Maul, and it would only be Ember doing the shooting,
Yeah,
are really slim.
yeah, definitely. But
To be honest.
yeah. But there we go. Yeah, that's my round 3. So 0-3 for the tournament.
And I'm 3-0. Here we go. I haven't actually checked. I'm going to go check now. Am I still the only undefeated separatist, or did the switch up now make them be more undefeated separatists? Let's have
Well,
a look.
it doesn't really matter, does it? Because you only get faction prizes if you stay as the same faction.
I know, but it's just it makes the stats funny because I was the only 3-0 separatist before the points change. Have we got some more separatists now that the Republic's got nerfed?
Who knows?
But tabletop.to is taking an absolute age to load the Kyber Cup Season 6, so maybe we won't find out on this podcast.
No, we'll talk about that next week when we find out whether Sam is 4-0.
Yeah, well, I've got a scary list. He says hasn't actually looked at the opponent's list, but I'm just sure it's scary.
I've got FO again. Yay.
Let me have a look. I have Christian Krogaker Jesperson. Oh, I've played him before. In last Kyber, actually, so this should be interesting. Loading up his list. Random filling of the time. Doop. Come on, TTO. I can't. You can't be inundated with people using you at this time.
So while that's loading, we'll talk about the fact that I'm trying out a list to see if I can get decent use out of the Magna Guard Executioners, or it's like, do I need to upgrade to the 5-point ones, or can I make the 4-point ones work? And it turns out I am the only Separatist player now who is running those 2 ships. So either I'm a genius or an idiot.
I mean, I would be probably running them, but my list was working. I didn't want to change it too much.
I thought you run the 2 5s.
I do run the 2. I've been experimenting with the 2 5s, but if I probably would have tried the DBS 32C Swarm. Yeah, had I wanted to change my list up, but my list is kind of working.
So I'm obviously running the 2 Magna Guards, DBS, and then Django, which is why I need the 4s, not the 5s, to make it fit.
So, Sean and I have looked at my opponent's list, and I recognise it from round 3.
Oh, God,
as I'm against Republic. There has been one change. There's a Hound, who is no longer Hawk. There's Ahsoka Tano, Mace Windu, Click, and Oddball.
Well, that's 2 changes. There's a wolf. There was a wolf last time.
Oh, yeah. Instead of Barriss and Wolf, we've got Ahsoka and Oddball.
Well, hang on. So you did that one in 3 rounds, right?
Yeah, but I killed Mace Windu turn 1.
So I expect you to do this one in 2, Sam.
There's an Oddball with proton torpedoes. What do you want from me?
In the Arc or in the...
In the V-Wing.
Okay, yeah. Why not? Boost into a lock.
Oh, this is scary. The Hound with Ayla Secura and 7th Fleet Gunner.
Okay, so if we're going to do that, I've got a list that's got Hound with 7th Fleet Gunner, Ayla Secura, but then I've put like Contrail, Click, Killer, and Annie in the Etta with them. That's good because he's going to get a double modded Torp off that.
Yeah,
because the amount
and it's going to put a crit through, so I'm going to drop a box.
Because he can obviously assume he coordinates the focus, then he do his move and he can boost into a lock. He can barrel roll, and if it lines up the bullseye, gets a lock. If you're directly in front of him and a K turns over you, that'll get the lock.
Yeah.
One bank and you're in the bullseye, that'll get the lock. Interesting.
Well, it's gonna be nasty. But hey, you know what? I beat this list last round and it was easy. So obviously it'll be the exact same, right?
Yeah, I've told you. 2
right?
rounds. Right, so on that wild optimism for Sam, we will wrap it up for this week. So thank you very much for listening, guys. And yeah, we'll be back next week with round 4. So until then, I'll just say goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. It turns out I am indeed still top separatist.
Woohoo! Okay.
Goodbye.